I saw this video with you online where you gave a speech. It was at Assault for X, I think it was called, and
Yeah.
you were talking about climate change, and I found it really interesting because it almost goes against what a lot of the stuff you say normally. To paraphrase, you basically said at one point with climate change, it's
It's
like
like
this
a
meteor.
meteor that is spinning towards the Earth, and it'll be here by the time our kids are grown.
But on
And
most days, what are we doing, or what am I doing?
like me, most
You
days,
say
like
like
nothing.
nothing,
Okay, nothing.
and you go on to say like as a journalist, as a reporter,
It feels like any minute that I'm not talking about climate change, it's like I'm turning my back on the most important thing that is happening to all of us. And I wonder if somewhere in the back of your heads, you have this too.
so is that true? Like, is it something you think about most days, or like in the back of your mind? Is it something that's there?
I go through phases of that, sure. Yeah, like right now I'm a little busy like on other projects, and so that thought hasn't had a second to intrude. But in general, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're missing the biggest story there is. And I've talked to other people who report on climate change about this, and people who report on it sort of famously, and they say it's weirdly resistant to journalism as a story, because there isn't something you can do as like a person. Like if you change your light bulbs, it's not going to stop it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To like the better light bulbs, you're not gonna. It's still gonna happen.
Which makes it so terrifying because it's not just it's not just one person. It's like massive social change, like
Yes.
everything. Like the way we run our economy needs to change. The way we structure our cities needs to change.
Mm-hmm. The way they make food, it's just like everything about our entire culture, and yeah, it's a real problem, and it's coming really soon too. Like and now we're at the point where like, you know, the UN just came out with this report a couple of weeks ago, which is like, oh, by the way, like not only is it happening, but there are going to be wars and food shortages. People are going to die, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, just like, and it's not like 100 years from now. It's like, you know, when your kids are your age, basically, that's what it is. So, you know, when your kids hit 40, basically, that's when we're talking about. It's super soon, and where some of it starts to happen, and so. Yeah, it's a puzzle. I feel like I haven't given the right amount of time to figure out how to do, or if you can do something in this job.
Well, one of the things that struck me is it seems so impossible because what you often say is, A, we're out for fun and we're not ashamed to be out for fun. You know, we're trying to tell stories that amuse ourselves. And,
Yes.
you know, if you don't do that, then the audience won't be amused either. It won't be entertaining. So that's one problem. But the second part is climate change isn't surprising, at least not at the macro level.
Well, that is the problem. Like that's the problem with doing it as a story is that everybody knows where they stand.
Yeah, it's like, yes, we know
And so-
we're screwed and there's...
Like I don't need the exact details on the level of screwedness. Like I got it. Like you don't have to. Like you had me at the, you know. Like all you need to say at the beginning of the hour or at the beginning of the story. Like okay, it's gonna be about climate change. If you're like I know how I stand. Like I know the story. Like I know what's gonna happen in general. Like I might not know the details that this particular story is gonna tell me. And so whenever we take it on, we try to like find some new corner of it that nobody's written about and some new way to think about it. But honestly, like the brute force fact of it, you know, the crude fact of how doomed we are. It's hard to keep repeating that and have it have any feeling.
And hard to keep thinking that too.
Yeah.
It struck me because, you know, as someone who's starting out and you have all these ambitions, basically, it seems so strange. Like, you know, it really seems like it trumps everything else. You know, like why commit yourself to other things? It's just such a strange problem. And I think you articulated something that I imagine a lot of people are thinking.
But on the other hand, I think that maybe if somebody's really committed to dealing with climate change, what they shouldn't be is a radio producer. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that I don't know. Like I'm not sure what there is for us to do because people who know that it's out there, like the word is out. Like it's not like it's, you know what I mean? Like it's widely known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've thought about doing more about it or more reporting about it? It sounds like.
I've thought about more reporting, and every now and then I'll look into a story, but it hasn't gone very well.
Because of those same problems with
it's hard to find a story. It's hard to find a story that I think is worth people listening to.